Hello, and thanks for joining me. My name is Chuck Underwood. I am going to be showing you today how to create a canvas texture on your finished digital painting. I do this kind of my own way. I like to actually create a canvas texture on my digital oils or digital acrylics that actually look like a real painting, like a real traditionally painted artwork with brush and canvas. And when you've looked at a painting like that, you notice that there are areas where there is thicker paint and the texture barely shows through or doesn't show through at all. And then there's other areas where the texture shows through a lot more, where there's thinner paint on the canvas. And that's kind of what I'm going to try to attempt to do today. That's something that's kind of there's an art to it. And I'm not saying I've perfected the art. I'm still learning, but I think I have a good technique set up now that I can share with everyone. So let's go ahead and get started. You see, I have my painting here that has not been textured yet. So the first step I'm going to do here, and I want to make sure you know, have your color wheel open, your layers palette open. That's really all you're going to be working with today. Um, First thing I do actually is I want to select this up here, go to select all, and then go ahead and copy over here, edit, copy, and then deselect it. Uh, Now I'm going to add the texture to this painting. So go up to Effects, Surface Control, Apply Surface Texture, and now you can see the texture quite well because I have it bumped up pretty high. I want it to have it bumped up this high so that you can actually see it on your screen. Normally I wouldn't have it this high. I'd bring it back down to about 30% or so, a little more than that maybe, but for purposes of this video I'm going to bring it up to about 80% I think, or something like that. Yeah. uh, then you have all these different parameters that you can adjust. I have mine set pretty much where I like them to be most of the time. um, so I'll just go ahead and for those of you who are new to this, I better also point out where you find your texture. Of course, you have to go to your papers library and click on that, and you should have some default textures that come with Corel Painter, or you may also have textures that you've acquired online from other artists who put their textures out there for the general public to use. I do that myself. I think there's some great textures to be had if you know where to look. I use the Melissa Gallo textures because I took one of her painting courses, and the textures came along with it. So that's what I'm using today, is one of her canvas textures. But at any rate, you don't have to do that. You can always use the default textures that come with the program. So anyway, here I go. I'm going to click OK. Now I have a completely textured painting, and it looks completely dull and it looks fake. It looks like it was just plastered on there, and it was. So I want to change that. I want to bring back some of the paint into the texture to make it look more like a real painting. So to do that, remember I have copied and pasted the original painting, and I have that waiting to bring out. So I'm going to actually come up here to edit and then paste in place, which will give me a second layer with the original uh, untextured painting on top. And now I'm going to need to make a mask so that I can bring in those textures. Actually, what I'll be bringing in will be the textured area from the bottom canvas that's already textured. And the way I do this is you have to have your color picker and your color wheel, and you use it this far left side of it, where you're picking up either the blacks or the grays or the whites. If you're up in the white area, you're going to be bringing in more of the textured. Let me see. I'm going to back up there. You'll be bringing in more of the textured canvas on the bottom. See, like I'm doing now. Let me get my tablet right here. Okay. And you can adjust your opacity of your brush. And I guess I should mention that you should be picking a brush that you can use to work with. I usually like to use one of the brushes that I used in the actual creation of the painting itself. So I'm using some landscape brushes that I used to create this painting. So basically right now I'm just kind of brushing in, and the brush is kind of slow because I'm recording this at the same time, so it slows down my brush, especially when I use layers, unfortunately. But I think I can still show you how to do this. Just keep bringing in some texture throughout the entire piece. Just kind of in a painterly style. Just kind of keep bringing it in until you've done the entire piece. I'm not going to do the entire piece because it will take too long. But basically, as you can see, I'm bringing in quite a bit of texture. Right now. Oh, actually, no. I just said this. I just told you the exact opposite. I had it now. Yeah, I had it on the white, which is going to not going to bring in the underlying texture. The darker down to the mid grays and the blacks are going to bring in more texture. So sorry about that. So let's see if I can start again here. See, now it's showing a lot more texture, as you can see. A lot more texture now. And then you just keep moving your your picker farther up to get less texture and kind of blend in with the textures that you've already brought in to create more of a painterly textured, real painting look, is what I'm trying to say here. And you're gonna kind of keep notice of your what you're working on, what part of the painting you're working on. Some areas are going to want more real paint coming through, and some areas are going to more texture. It's just really up to you what you feel would look better with more or less texture, and just have fun with it. Just keep working on it until you reach a point where you like it. And I suggest printing it out after you've reached that point, because it's really hard to tell just on the screen whether it's really finished, because the proof is going to be when you print it out and take a really close look at how it looks with the textures that you've added and subtracted. So it may take a couple, two or three tries before you actually reach the point where you're really happy with what you have. I know that at least that's the case with me. I rarely like the first one I do. Usually I have to print it out and kind of examine how it looks and look at the areas that I may want to make some changes to. But I think you get the idea here. Basically, you're just bringing in and taking out texture, kind of experimenting with areas that you like, and areas that you want to change a little bit as far as the heaviness of the texture. I don't like a lot of heavy texture. I think that's just my personal preference, I guess. But I like to just experiment around and see what I can do. And you can always reverse what you just did. Like right here, see, I'm adding a lot of paint in this area, but I think I added too much, so I'm gonna come over here and pull that pointer down a little bit to add back a little bit of that texture that I just took away in certain areas. And it's all just kind of a experimentation, just seeing how things look as you go, and until you finally reach the point where you actually like what you have, and you can go ahead and save it from that point, and print it out and see how you like it as a print. So anyway, I think I'll go ahead and stop now. I think I'll save that as a new version of that painting, and put texture on there. Save it as a riff. You can save it either as a riff, which is the Corel Painter format, or paint it as a Photoshop or a TIFF, depending on how you want to handle it. Usually, I guess if you're going to print it out, you need to save it as a Photoshop also. And I'll do that now. I want to print this out. Okay. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed that, and good luck with your texturing on your digital artworks. Thanks.